Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. I am Darkness Among Us, and today we're taking a look at a rather huge post by Behavior. The upcoming quality of life updates starting in April to June and July to December. That's a little far for my liking. I would like shit to start happening, but I understand how the development process can be, and I'm willing to be patient if it means the game gets put in a better space. I'm sure all of you have seen your favorite content creators go over this, but I'm going to go over it too. And maybe one day I'll be your favorite content creator. Without further ado, Dead by Daylight will be undergoing a substantial quality of life initiative which should address many long-standing concerns and frustrations our players have been experiencing. The initiative will take place over the course of 2 phases. The first runs from April to June, while the second runs from July to December. So more or less just a non-stop train from April to December. The rest of this entire year starting April. So get ready for that. So they're going to be delaying the upcoming releases for this. Chapters, rifts, event modifiers, collections. That means there will be no PTB tomorrow, but rest assured that we did not make this decision lightly. So event modifiers. This means that we're likely just going to have 2v8 for longer, and we're very likely going to not be seeing anything else for a while. So no Chaos Shuffle, no Lights Out, none of that. Which is a shame. I did want to try Lights Out. But again, I'm willing to sacrifice this for better health in the game. The surrender state. The team has been working on a surrender feature. This has me a little concerned. I would like there to be a time lapse for this. Just front thoughts. Like, just this is my first processed thought after reading this. 2 scenarios. All remaining survivors have been slugged. All remaining survivors are bots. Once these instances occur, players will be able to use the surrender option, ending the trial while retaining the blood points they've earned and escaping the disconnect penalty. Now, as far as your opposition just being purely bots, that could be an immediate qualifier. But if all remaining survivors have been slugged, there should be a push to still wait that out unless the killer is deliberately just bleeding out everybody. Gamma adjustments. Basically, your maps can be brighter now. I think they should still bring back the bouquet offerings because I thought it was neat that every map could have different settings of dynamic lighting. But sure, let's just make this another quality of life change. The Go Next prevention. The Go Next expression refers to instances where a survivor deliberately does everything in their power to be a whiny little prick and go to their next game because they couldn't handle the PvP aspect of a PvP game. To disincentivize and properly penalize this behavior, we'll be implementing measures that will help us identify when a player is attempting to go next. Once identified, they'll receive a disconnection penalty point and lose an entire grade. We'll be keeping a close eye on this system to ensure its accuracy, but we're confident that this will help alleviate the issue. On the other hand, we'd like to reward players who stick it through those challenging matches even when things take a dire turn. I assure you this will not actually... The reward itself will not by itself get many people to stop going next. The mentality behind going next, in my observation, is an entitled one, and it's not something that you can necessarily cure through external means. It has to be something that the person takes accountability for on a core level. Extreme hiding and body block prevention. Basically, they're going to show the survivors whenever they are uninteracted for too long. So if you spend the whole match being a rat and not interacting with anything, they're going to start allowing the crows to like show your aura or give noise notifications. We're not entirely sure yet. We'll also be incorporating a feature that allows players to lose collision after receiving a third AFK crow. This is huge because the player base has been asking for this for quite some time. We recognize that the map offerings are a bit divisive. Some players enjoy them, while others feel that they can grant an unfair advantage. Moving forward, map offerings will no longer guarantee the appearance of a given map, but rather increase its chances by 20%. Note that they will not stack. I actually have a problem with this. I understand that people don't like map offerings and they've become a plague on the game, no pun intended, but they should stack. They should stack. Map offerings should be a base 15%, and they should stack. My reasoning for this is, otherwise they're becoming superfluous in the Blood Web. Maybe that's part of the plan, maybe behavior is just slowly zoning them out, but I'm not in favor of getting rid of map offerings as a whole. Survivor spawn placements can have a significant impact on the trial's outcome, so basically here, they are saying they're going to be reversing the survivor spawn rules. Survivors will now spawn closer together, and shroud offerings will very likely just be reversed. Survivor shrouds will now spawn them apart, whereas killer shrouds will now spawn them closer together. That's what they're going to do, basically. Also, survivors are now going to spawn more on the same floor, which is actually kind of big for multi-layered maps. Improved AFK bot detection. I don't know how many of you were aware of this, but back in the day, there were a lot of killer farming bots that would pick Freddy, who can get free blood points as long as he's active, just for survivors getting put into the dream state. This is basically going to be addressed. There are more bots that do this on Asian servers than North American servers or European servers, because there are a lot of businesses in Asian servers that revolve around selling accounts, more so than in Western countries or European countries. Bulk blood point spending. This is huge. I would definitely like the ability to dump all of my blood points into just one character and see what happens. But I expect this system to be a little buggy on launch. I expect it to not give me the full value or to give me too much value for a little while. Quest system. Previously announced last year, the quest system is part of a larger update to the archives and rifts, so expect more information in an article specifically dedicated to that. For now, know that we will be reworking the challenge system, as well as daily rituals to reduce the grind, make it easier to earn rewards, and increase the overall level of fun. Can that work? It depends on how the quest system is going to be. I do not think anything that allows you to go out of your way will be too popular. Most people would rather just play the game to win and collect more blood points overall that way. So the quest system would have to give you a certain amount that exceeds what you would get just by winning a couple of matches normally. And even then, it's more fun to just play the match the way it's meant to be played. So I'm curious as to what this quest system will entail. Perk loadouts in preview, allowing players to see their own perk loadouts while in lobby. You can already do that, as well as adding additional perk loadout slots. Additional perk loadout slots is mostly just more presets, so you can have more separate builds to swap between. Scott says that they are very specific about this wording. We'll be allowing players to see their own perk loadouts while in a lobby. Now, this could just be a mistype, and maybe they're talking about solo queue being able to see other people's perk loadouts, but that's unlikely. I think they're trying to do everything in their power to avoid people seeing each other's perk loadouts, because this will lead to a lot of griefing, I think. I think people will deliberately leave more lobbies when they see that their allies have perks that are unfavorable to winning. I think that's why they're so opposed to this, and I wholly agree with the idea. But there has to be something to bridge solo queue and survive with friends, even a little bit, and then killers can be adjusted accordingly. Let's take a look at some of the comments. There were a few when I was looking over this earlier that I had thoughts about. Been losing players by a decent amount every month since the summer, and it's not difficult to see why. I don't know about that. I haven't seen the Steam results. I'd pull them up, but I don't care. Anti-slugging being the surrender button, I feel like some tweaking on that as well in terms of... It was revealed to me in a dream. Yeah, probably. Upcoming content in favor of Operation Health, something we've been begging for years. Phase 1 looks really promising, but I'm interested in what Phase 2 brings. Yes, I'm a little concerned, if anything. So if you look here, Phase 2 is talking about more anti-slugging, continued improvements, anti-tunneling, anti-camping, MMR update. So, as far as base kit anti-slugging, I don't know. I think the more they implement these measures, the more it has the opposite intended effect. With anti-camping, I think it certainly deterred some people from camping, but it also created a meta strategy to make camping more viable. And same with tunneling. Like, it's just... The problem with these strategies is not that they exist. It's the fact that these strategies are as effective as they are. And at the end of the day, it's easier to capture and down a survivor within a decent range than it is to go across the entire map looking for people that are doing gens and being constantly aware of you. These things are a problem because they're useful. You shouldn't be blaming the players for doing them, nor punishing the players for doing them. You should be rewarding them in a way that disincentivizes the players to do them. Keyboard and mouse on consoles, I don't really care. Custom game improvements, I don't care. Accessibility improvements. That could mean a lot of things, so I don't ultimately care unless it means that, like, field of view is getting fixed to where it doesn't allow you to be blinded from from behind you, basically. That's all I've ever asked for. Like, I don't mind being blinded in a wider horizontal range, but the moment I can be blinded from a Z-axis, I start having problems. Prestige rewards, sure. I don't mind, I guess. Reduced login steps. All I can imagine that this means is that the game doesn't take, like, 3 confirms to get into the game. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this so far. Well, that'll about do it for covering the Dead by Daylight Quality of Life Initiative 2025 Phase 1. We will cover Phase 2 as it appears. Thank you all for watching, if indeed you still are. Be good people. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you all next time.